Welcome back, and we're starting a new series called Gear of the Week, and we have 7 items to take a look at today. Let's go ahead and get started. First item we have on the table is a fixed blade from Nafs. Now, the moment I saw this, I knew I had to have one. This is made right here in the US and designed by Ben Peterson over at Nafs. Everything they've done here, just really thinking everything through, from the very aggressive jimping, which I absolutely adore, to also allowing it to be something that people can customize. So it does not come with a 90-degree spine, but is designed so that you can make the decision one way or another. Not everyone wants that, and that's sort of why it's designed the way it is. Now, I think the thing that really gets me about this, now I have played with it a little bit and taken it out, is the grip. Initially, I was concerned that maybe this wasn't long enough. I would have liked a 1/4 inch. That was my original thought. But I have to say, after using it, it's much better than I expected. And no hot spots, no nothing. Just a very, very comfortable knife made in MagnaCut blade steel. It has a interesting finish, so they did it unfinished. So this is the way the steel looks directly from the factory, and you see all that different texture. Very, very cool to have with MagnaCut. Now, this is a Scandi ground blade with a micro bevel, and that kind of keeps it from chipping and just being a little bit more stable. So it's not a true Scandi, but that's actually good in that it's more versatile. It's not going to have as many issues doing different utility tasks, where a true Scandi is basically a woodscraft knife. So this is kind of a very versatile all-around tool, and it's a little bit thinner. So even though Scandis aren't great for things like food prep, yeah, I really, really like it. And the sheath design, he definitely put some effort into figuring this out. I'll probably end up setting it up with an in-pocket carry, but I tried it just on a belt, and because of how low this actually rides, it's actually surprisingly comfortable. I did not expect that. So, very nice job from Ben over at Nafs, and I'm going to be enjoying this for sure. We want to see more fixed blade stuff? Let me know down in the comments. Maybe we'll be doing it a lot more. Now, it's always a good day when I get something from Civivi, but when it's a Praxis, which I love, in a new material, I mean, that's good times. And this time it's going to be an Ultem polished on the stainless version and bead blasted on the black. Now, I have to say, after holding both, the polished is the superior of the two in the looks category, and the fact that I can see the liners clearly through the scales, I just absolutely adore it. Now, if you don't know anything about Ultem, Ultem is a special plastic material that has incredibly high heat resistance and a tensile strength equal to that of aluminum. So it is very strong, clear, and also very heat resistant. So it's a very interesting material, and I actually just love this version of the knife. And check this out. It actually matches my wallet that I'm carrying right now and have been for a little while. Now, I probably should have put this on the list of things that we're reviewing, but I haven't had a chance to really dial this in. I've had it for a few weeks. I'm still not sure how I feel about it. I think what I'm going to end up doing is making it a one-sided wallet, so it slims it out even further, and I'm sure I'm going to like that. But look at how nicely that matches. Gotta love it. So really cool design from Civivi and from Dango. And yeah, what do you guys think about Ultem? Is this something that you're interested in? I have a lot more stuff in this material that we could be talking about maybe in a separate video. Let me know. Now, this might be one of the strangest multi-tools I've ever seen, and that's saying something considering I've seen so many at this point. We have a serrated blade with sort of a tanto shape. We have a file. We have a saw and a straight blade and all that. And then on the inside, we have a set of very interesting tools. So very, very different than normal. We have like a special curved cutter. I think it's both a package opener, but designed specifically for stripping large wire. You have a flathead here with a pull cutter, and you have a scissor in there as well. On the other side, we have the bit driver. And then the big crazy thing here is this ridiculous plier. So on one side, you have a standard pair of pliers, right? Now, these don't fully close, which does annoy me a little bit, but you know, maybe that's acceptable. I don't know. I don't know. It's definitely going to not hold on to small, thin objects. And then on the other side, when we flip it out, we actually have a wire stripper, sort of electrician's tool. I've never seen anything like this thing. It is just stranger than heck, and I can't even believe it works. I mean, the fact that it also, I think these things run about 40 bucks on AliExpress, something like that. It's just so strange. Would you ever consider buying something like this? Let me know down in the comments. I'd really like to know. I also had a bunch of flashlights come in the mail, and one of them is this. This is the HS41 from Sofirn. So they're actually very, very high value flashlights, both from Workhorse and Sofirn. And I gotta say, this is another good example of it. Over 4,000 lumens max output with this one, and it uses a 21700 battery. It does come with a pocket clip, but it also is designed primarily for using it on a headband. So it is a right angle flashlight. You get a ridiculous output with this one. You have a pretty intuitive interface, very similar to what you would experience from a lot of different brands, and it is a quad emitter setup. So this actually helps a little bit with the heat, but it also makes it a very dispersed kind of beam. So it's 4,000 lumens, but it's primarily used for up close kind of looking. I really like this. I like that it has a Type-C charging port. It comes with a charging cable. These are just really good value flashlights, and it's always something to keep an eye on, especially if they go on sale. And their website also tends to be pretty inexpensive, and you can sometimes get insane deals there as well. Okay, now these are interesting. I love the arc felt from Olight. There's no question. I didn't expect to, but I've been carrying it quite a bit. It basically disappears in the pocket. And these lights from Monstrum follow that same sort of pattern, that same sort of design aesthetic. But they have, first of all, a kind of a different take on it, especially with the pen-shaped one. And yeah, let's quickly talk about it. So we have laser and flashlight here. So green laser with one button with battery indicator right there, and the other button activates the flashlight. Now you notice with single press, nothing happens. If I double press, I turn on. And what's cool about this is this does not have mode memory, and it always comes in on 1,000 lumens with a double press. If you want the lowest output setting, you simply have to hold press and you'll get to the lowest output. So it's kind of a different take on the user interface, and I don't dislike it because you can't accidentally activate the side switch, and well, you don't need lockout, which is great. Now what's weird though is that the button for the laser does not have a double press to turn on. That's the only thing I find particularly weird about this model. I would very much like to have seen that also have the same sort of lockout. Otherwise, it'll just kind of turn on the laser willy-nilly in your pocket. Now, speaking of pocket, it does have a deep carry pocket clip, but the screws are kind of proud. Type-C charging, though, that's sort of a big difference. Like, obviously, you have the proprietary charging technology on the ArcFeld, but this one has Type-C. Now, with this comes a slightly lower grade of waterproofing. So this is IPX6, and the ArcFeld is IPX7. But these are also on sale, and they're always kind of an interesting take on the whole thing, especially with this one, which is so ridiculously narrow. And both of these have an output of 1,000 lumens max. So the same thing, basically the same user interface here, double press for turning it on, and then once you have it on, you then hold press to cycle through it. And it is really slow, so that's something of note, but you definitely have the ability to cycle through additional modes as well. Double press will once again come in on the brightest. And I actually kind of like that, to be honest. And then if I turn it off, I hold press, I get the lowest mode just by hold pressing. So it kind of get access to the low, to the high. It has a very interesting sort of shape. I like this quite a bit. Most flashlights like this are usually like double AAA kind of things, and they're like 200 lumens. This is 1,000, so that's pretty cool. And it also has a magnetic tail. Now, this tail is not really strong enough to hold it from falling if you're kind of going horizontal. It is, however, oh, this one is actually, that's kind of cool, or mostly. Go like that. Yeah, that one's a little bit stronger. But if you hang it like this, it'll probably work pretty well, like on the hood of a car, that kind of thing. And I think the amount of metal really matters, so that's something to keep in mind. But overall, kind of an interesting flashlight. Somebody turned me onto this in my comments section. They said, hey, have you seen these? And I'm like, no. So I took a look, and I don't know. They're kind of interesting. Let me know what you think. Would you pick up something like this? Do you like this form factor? Let me know in the comments. That's going to be it for the week. I think my favorite ones on the table right now are probably the Praxis, because I love that polished Ultem, super nice, or the Lulu from Nafs. I think this is going to end up being one of my most carried EDC fixed blades. It just is a really fun knife to use, and I think it'll get me out in the woods a little bit more often, something I used to do a lot. So really, really like this design. And yeah, nice job, Ben. Did a good one on this. And let me know what you guys think are interesting. Which one should I make a long version review of? As always, guys, thank you for your time, and we'll talk again soon.